Hey, welcome back to Star Technology, where in the last video, we optimized our Stargate rod production to try and get it as close to maximum production as possible. And you might notice I've been changing it on my own, because there were still quite a few bottlenecks with it. Namely, neutronium production. The actual neutronium was fine, but I was making americium really slowly, so I've tripled that up, and doubled neutronium to account for it. So I should be running that about as quick as I realistically can. And after leaving this running for such a long time, I realized that the weapon grade Naquita wasn't really a problem as much as the regular Nequadria was, because that was really hogging up the hearth furnace. So I swapped that over, but it might have been partially due to the fact that the recipe was wrong, and instead of being 64 for 64, it was 64 for 1. So I've made a lot more Nequadria than I needed to. That might be why it took so long to make that. But all of that's all over. I've solved pretty much every problem, and I now have all of the stellarium that I should need, and almost all of the Stargate rods. And it has taken a very long time. The last video you saw, I pre-recorded, I think about 11 days ago. And I've recorded a bunch of other filler, that's why I've upgraded the fusion reactors, but I didn't have to release it all because the Stargate rods finished a bit sooner than I was expecting. But anyway, with all of that now, I'm gonna see how far I can go here. I might be able to get all the way to the Stargate in this video. It just depends how hard some of these multi-blocks are going to be, but I think I might be able to do it. So let's see. Don't have much time to kill. So let's start with this Drachion Runic wave generator. What does this need? UV emitters, UV sensors, UV field generators. I think I have all of them. Yeah. Why don't I just make a recipe for this? It doesn't need research. Good. I'm missing a couple foils, but they're not too hard to make. And I need stellarium screws. That's not too bad either. I need these energy clusters. Whew, they're expensive. And they need research. So this is probably going to take a while. But I don't have too many question marks here. Just the energy module also needs research. But otherwise, I should be able to make that. Oh, trinium bolts. But again, not hard. So I need to get the 2 researchers I need to be able to make up to the energy cluster. And then exquisite Screecrit Runic laser source base? Oh boy. A nether star lens? Or just a glass lens? Depending on how many of these I'm going to need, I might just make these manually. Flawless version. So I need a laser source base. So I need the base dust. And this has its own set of things. Titanium dust shouldn't be too bad. Just macerate the ingots. But then this Nequatic netherite dust. I make a lot at a time. Naquita, pure netherite, cesium, cerium, fluorine and oxygen. That doesn't seem that bad. All I'm missing is the cesium, which I can get from pollucite? Cerium, I just get from rare earth. So I should have a massive backlog of that. So how do I get the pollucite for the cesium? The sieve. And it seems like the regular processing nets some cesium along the way, so I should get a reasonable amount. Right, well, that's quite a lot of recipes to put in place. So with all of those patterns in place now, I'm not even sure what the first thing to work towards is. I guess just follow the quest line? How many of these am I going to need? I think just 1. So I'll start with the Aquatic Netherite. Hopefully I can get that pretty soon. Yep, that was actually very quick. Then the laser source-based dust. That should also be pretty quick. I definitely have a lot of trinium for it. It's a bit of a longer recipe, but that's not bad. And I'm going to see if I can go all the way to the exquisite. I only needed 8 of the base dust, but that should be fine. And then that's one thing for the Drachion Runic wave generator. Okay, thankfully I only need 1 of these. Well, there's 2 research things that I need, being the energy module and the energy cluster. I'll start with the research for the energy module, so that one I can do pretty quickly. Then I can make one energy module, hopefully. I'm missing Lapotron dust, actually. I don't know where that recipe went, but I can get it back pretty easily. And hopefully I can get this energy module quickly, but things are still quite blocked up, because I still have a couple more Stargate rods to do. Then with the energy module, I can research the energy cluster. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit longer. But with that research done, I can now queue up the Runic wave generator. And I should only need the one. What ingredients am I missing? Clay. And wood. And a lot of helium. All of those have been coming back quite a lot. So I'm getting a bit tired of continuously cutting down trees. And so far the clay and helium have just barely been able to keep up. But this is not an amount that I can just wait for. Same with the helium. Deuterium's probably fine though. I'll just separate a bit so that the storage can fill up, and that should be all I need. But I wonder if there's a way that I can turn helium-3 into regular helium, because I've got a lot of that spare. No. Just turns into oxygen plasma. That's annoying. I might be able to get some by extracting monazite? Yeah, that seems to have solved that. 191,000 monazite though. I think that'll be fine. So then it's just the clay. And what is the clay actually used for? I think I'm using it for sodium? So then is there a better way of getting sodium? I can get it through salt and through sodium hydroxide, which I have a lot of spare. I reckon if I start putting all of that through the electrolyzer, or better yet, if I switch the recipe over, it's not asking for clay anymore? Yeah, it's just a lot of sodium that it's trying to make. I'm missing 54,000. And I can absolutely get that much off of my spare sodium hydroxide. Well, I think I'm just going to leave the electrolyzer to slowly convert all of the sodium hydroxide over, because in the meantime, there's still plenty of other things that need doing. Because all that Runic wave generator gets me is this beam concentrator, I'll call it. And all that makes is the circuitry assembly station. But there's still everything else that I need for this, and everything else that I need for all of the other multi-blocks for that matter. And to get a lot of these Runic engraved things, I'm going to need all of the singularities. So I think while I wait to get the stuff I need for the Runic wave generator, I can start working on the quantum compressor, because I'm going to need this going for quite a while. So I'll start with the control block, and I should be able to get most of this quite easily. Liquid HSSG is just an extractor thing that I don't have yet. Double triniquad alloy, just another thing in the bender. And melodium frames, just another frame to make. So then I should be able to queue up the control block. Nothing here seems that bad. Let's see what else I need here. I can worry about hatches later. I don't seem to need that many. I need firebox casings, tungsten steel pipe casings, and gearbox casings, which I don't actually have a recipe for, but they're not that hard. Then for some of the more difficult ones, I need Mark III fusion machine casings, and I need 48 of them, but I can't actually queue these up yet because I still need more sodium. Well, the other one was the high power casing. I need 32 of them, and that one I can queue up. And there's a bunch of things here that I've never made before. Well, I have made the stress proof. I can make that quite easily. But atomic casing, solar-infused casings, and all of the glasses, never done that. I'll start with the glasses, they're probably the easiest, because it's just laminated glass and their respective ingot in the extractor. So then I can set all of those going. And then solar-infused casing, yeah, as I thought, it's just solar-infused ingots. But then the big one that I think is going to be difficult is the atomic casing, because this is just a lot of triniquad alloy. And I do actually have recipes for everything except the casing itself. So I just need to queue up 114 of them, and pretty much just wait. So then I think I'm just going to be waiting on a lot of this for quite a while then. So I'll get back to you when I'm done. Okay, so about an hour and 20 minutes later, I now have everything that I need. It shouldn't have taken that long, but there was a lot of requested things hogging up the machines. So I just had to turn those off and move things around so it actually does the right things. and then I got everything. I still don't have the control block or the fusion machine casings, but those are... the control block's not terribly far away. I think it'd mostly be the Americium, but the fusion machine casing is quite far off. So I figure while I wait, if I've got basically everything else that I need, I'm going to build up the platform, and yeah, I'm probably going to have to build this up manually if I don't have the terminal. So I'm thinking again, I just expand these platforms out. Although this is a different thing. I guess this platform is for making stargate rods. How big is it going to have to be? I think this quantum compressor is already 15 by 15. And the Runic assembly station, that's 9 by 9. That's not that bad. And the stargate component assembly, that's just huge. I'm probably going to leave this as maybe even like a figurehead at the end of the pathway. I don't know. Well, I think I'll make 2 new platforms, both of them 15 by 15. There we go. There's the first platform, and there's the second platform. And these platforms really do look very small compared to the others I've been making lately. But they're 15 by 15. That's how big they need to be. So then I'll build up the quantum compressor here, because I've already got enough big multi-blocks on this side. And I'll try my hand at building it manually. There's the first layer, second layer, third layer, and fourth layer without the fusion machine casings yet. Then the fifth layer, sixth layer, seventh layer that I'm missing some blocks for some reason. And then the final layer that I know I'm missing some blocks for, because that's where the hatches go. Well, that's all the blocks it told me to get. I don't have the fusion machine casings in yet, and I was missing 3 gearbox casings for some reason, and I also have 3 extra atomic casings. Ah, fifth layer. These 3 are supposed to be atomic casings, so that lets me put the rest of them there, and that's the rest of the atomic casings back in place. But then where does the glass go? Ah, it's just invisible. Seems like the front here has shellite on the sides, dragon steel on the middle, and the sides are twinite on the side and dragon steel on the middle. The back is also shellite. Okay, so then the hatches, they can go anywhere that there's stress-proof casings. So I'll put the maintenance there, input and output up the top, energy around the back. And I know I'm only doing UV instead of UHV. This will probably be quick enough either way. 300 seconds. I think it'll be fine. So that should be everything for this multi-block except the control block and the fusion casings. The control block, it looks like it's trying to make already, but failing. I think it's full. I found one problem. I think this assembly line is just too short, because I need 2 more spaces? Yeah, this is only 13 long, and this needs 15. That's why it's not working. I should be able to expand this reasonably easily. I'll just put these in manually before it gets ruined, and then I can fix up the rest of this. Ooh, although it is going to take a long time for it to make that control block. I mean, I'm waiting on the fusion machine casings anyway, but they're not that far off. They also just need the assembly line. So now I've got both of those, and I can put it all in place. And yes, that seems to have completed the multi-block. So now I can start compressing things. And I'm going to be doing it out of nickel, just because nickel makes the most of everything. And nickel's probably the cheapest out of those that are effective. So let's see, I need 1,120 blocks of nickel. I think I need 10,000 ingots, if it's the same as normal singularities. Yeah, it's extended crafting. So then I need a block of nickel. I do have 56,000 dust. That'd be enough for 5 singularities. Gonna need much more than that. Do I have a recipe? No, I don't have a recipe for the dust. What's the best I can do to get nickel? Sheldonite? Sheldonite can give it to me as a byproduct of its processing. Yeah, that's probably my best option. So then if I connect this to the ME system, I can start making nickel singularities. How long would it take to get 10? I'd need to go through a lot of sheldonite, but I could get 10. How many am I gonna need? For the chevron block, that's 5 each. The ring block is 2, and the base block is 10. I'm not bothered to do the maths on that. I'm just gonna say I need a lot. I'm gonna make myself 30 now and see how that goes. Actually, can I go 10 more? Yeah. that would be all of my sheldonite. May as well. I'm going to need to eventually. Well, in the time it's taken for me to do all that, how am I looking for the runic wave generator? Missing a bit of deuterium. I have some on me right now, just to clear up the storages. Probably missing 100 buckets or so. And I'm still missing sodium, but not that much. And the rest is fine. So, should be pretty close. It's going to take me a long time to craft that, but there's still plenty of other things that I need to make. Ooh, it started compressing now. And it seems like it might have perfect overclock, because that is too much faster than 300 seconds to be done by the configurable maintenance hatch. Yeah, it's only 75 seconds with perfect overclock. Okay, right now it's taking longer to smelt the items, and then it'd be even longer for the sheldonite, which I realize I should be multiplying. There we go. Ah, I finally have enough sodium to be able to make that runic wave generator. Okay. So, that's on the way. It's probably gonna take a while, but it's on the way. In the meantime, I've got a lot of other stuff to make. A lot of repeat things too. So, starting with the prismalium frames, I need 60. And I don't have any prismalium. Cool. Well, compared to something like stellarium, I can craft this in no time. So, get that going. Oh yeah, I need to get the control block going. That's going to be its own thing. I need lumium frames. That's new. And I need tantalum carbide and titanium carbide. That's not bad. Just need to turn it into double plates. So, I should then be able to make the control block. Missing more sodium. I can just throw in a ton more sodium hydroxide. Now I can make the control block. Alright, back to the rest of this then. I need 16 high power casings. And another 16 fusion machine casings. But I need sodium again. Well, I'll come back to that in a bit. Next I need coils. I think I can use any coil. I'll just take spare Naquita coils. If I need to, I can replace some of the non-essential machines and steal their trinium. Then I need 3 assembly control casings. This I can probably just make myself. Then 32 assembly line casings. These ones I can actually just queue up. Then there's the beam concentrator. I've got to leave that for now. And 3 stellarium casings. I can make that very easily, because I've already got over 3,000 stellarium. Then there's lumium casings. These ones should be pretty cheap, because lumium's pretty cheap, so I can make that pretty easily. And then last, one more dragon steel glass. Well, I now have enough sodium for the fusion machine casings, so I can leave that to go, but it's all still going to take a long time. Well, I guess, just like last time, I'll just leave this to go, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so close to 2 hours later, all of this is done. But it only took that long because I managed to get the runic wave generator along the way. I've had to disable pretty much everything in the requested to be able to get all of this in time, but that should be everything that I need to make this multi-block, and I should be able to get the beam concentrator. I just need a double stellarium plate. And I'll just set that going. It really shouldn't take that long anymore. In the meantime, I'm going to set up this multi-block. And because I have everything, I can build it with the terminal. So I'll just remove the hatches from my inventory so it doesn't put them in bad spots. And that looks to be it. It looks like the hatches can go on any of the lumium casings. So I think I'll just set everything up like that. Fix the maintenance hatch. I can put the missing lumium cases back. Then I'm just waiting on the beam concentrator, and that should be this done. It might take a little while, because it's got to make some neutronium, but there shouldn't be anything else holding it up. There we go. Beam concentrator goes in there, completes the multi-block. I'm going to grab the controller just for the sake of triggering the quest, and that should let me start making these runic platings. And I would start now, but I have very, very much so run out of time for this video. Recording-wise is already way out of the question, but I feel like I'm at the end of this video, either way. I really thought I could try and go all the way, but it's just too much. But next time, all of these casings really won't take that long, especially now that I've got the stellarium. The fusion machine casings and the fusion coils might take a while, but they shouldn't be that bad. The coils might be a pain, especially because they all have to be the same. I might just have to make new ones. It's gonna take a long time anyway because these fusion casings. I don't know. I can probably get this next time. And from there, it's really not that hard to get the Stargate, especially because I have most of the rods. I can absolutely finish making those rods by next time. If I didn't have to disable them, for the sake of recording now, I probably could have made them all by the end of this video, but I can absolutely have them for next time. I'm just gonna have to keep leaving my computer running. Hopefully not for 11 days again. Well, that was still a lot of progress, even if we couldn't go all the way. We got the quantum compressor, the Runic circuitry assembly station, and actually that was it. It's just some of these took a very long time to craft. But I shouldn't have anything else in my way to go all the way to the Stargate. It's just time that I've run out of. So, next video, I can probably go all the way, but for now, I'm done with this video. I've been recording for almost 6 hours. I would like to go to bed. So, I'm calling this here. Bye.